Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of
You don't know football.
where Tim is somehow in a whole nother state, and I want to know where are you at now? Where are you at, Tim?
I am in Northeast Maryland. Decided to take a little day trip, basically, to go in a campsite with some friends. So, Florida last 2 weeks. Northeast Maryland, as you can see, the setup is pretty wild here, Tariq. I'm in my car, sitting in my car. This is going to be great. It's going to make it happen.
Just make it work no matter what.
Make it work. We got the whole setup here. Gonna have to put the picture up online.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, brother. Well, listen. Last week that was a crazy
Oh,
week, man. That was crazy. So we
oh,
got stuff to get into. We got a short period of time because we got
yeah.
couple minutes here. So we just fit it in here no matter what, and cause you don't know football. So let's talk about where we at and and I'm glad that you brought the notebook because I definitely questioned if you brought that
Oh,
notebook.
I knew we were doing this today. I got the notebook prepared. And looking at that notebook, I opened up that notebook today. I put last week out of my mind, Tariq.
Hmm.
Yes, great football, great football. But I got to give it to you. You went 4-1 on our straight picks and 1-1 on the bet picks. I went 2-3. I couldn't get out of my own way, and 0-2 on our betting picks. Good Lord, I'm gonna have to reevaluate my strategy for picking games. Hopefully, this week is a little bit better, but it might be a work in progress.
Oh,
I give it to you last week. I tipped my
so,
cap to that.
so where to start at the game. So so tell us of the first game that we went to last week.
Yeah, we'll just go in order of the way we picked them. So last week, which was a pretty good game, we went with the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. A little controversy in that game.
We had to go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that game, we not only did the Dolphins win, which you picked Miami to beat the Bills, 21-19. It was a heavy hitting game. I mean, just in general, Josh Allen still did Josh Allen things. 63 pass attempts for 400 yards. But then we have Tua Tagovailoa, who also went crazy. I mean, he had himself another good game, even after having a concussion
Yeah.
knocked out of the game, came back, probably shouldn't have, and
Mm.
ended up pulling it out. So pretty wild one there.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's very unfortunate what happened to Tua. You know what I mean? And I mean, never wish anybody get hurt like that. But things happen. But yeah, like about Josh Allen, and he lost his game. And the only reason I said the Bills were going to lose was because it's a division game, and you can't expect two good division rivals or two if there's two good teams in a division that one of them is just going to sweep the other one. You just can't
Yeah.
predict that. That's really the only reason I went there. But
And,
like,
and,
go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go.
I was just going to say, Josh Allen went 42 of 63 for 400 yards, two touchdowns, and zero interceptions. And the funny thing is, that's probably the least efficient game he's had in the last year and a half. So I don't know what bad things to say about him because that's just amazing.
I know we picked him as our preseason NFL MVP, kind of unanimous there. We were talking about another quarterback that's had himself a year later in this show, but yeah, Josh Allen still doing Josh Allen things. Just looks like a stud. But
Yeah,
Dolphins win, you get that win as well. Um, Second game, we can kind of move quickly through. It was a little bit. Actually, I want to talk about it. I lied. We both got it right though. Minnesota over the Lions. The
yeah.
Lions.
But I knew
So
that
I
was going to be a game, though. That was a game. That was a
look,
game.
look, last minute rally,
Mm-hmm.
touchdown in the last minute.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what all this tells me more so? Detroit is still Detroit. What are the Lions doing up there? This is 3 games, 3 weeks in a row. They've either been in it or tried to come back, and they cannot figure out how to win a freaking football game. Like, I don't know
That's what
what
I
is
said
happening.
about them. That's what I said about. That's all I said. I didn't say they were going to be good. I said they're a team that if you are betting on the spread, like they're going to be they're going to be +7, +6. You know what I mean? +10 in a lot of these games, and I'm like, they're going to cover that a lot. They're a team that you're not just going to roll over on. But yes, that was a hell of a game. Jared Goff he even had he had a pretty good game, 25 of 41, 277, a touchdown and a pick. You know what I mean? But yeah, give it to Kirk Cousins. But like this is Kirk Cousins, right? Like he's like in a game like this, he's gonna look amazing, but on
Yeah,
a stage and everything like that, then he turns back into Kirk Cousins. But
against more solid teams and I would say better coach teams, better equipped teams. Minnesota can't even stand the chance, right? Like not that they can't stand the chance, but they don't look as efficient. Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's a starting quarterback. He's a quality quarterback, but we said this preseason as well. Like he's still not the one to win you the big game.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't say it any better myself. All right, cool. Well, let's get to the next one.
The next one was really surprising. I did take this W here, and it was kind of a reluctant pick, more of an adversarial pick for me last week. Jacksonville over the Chargers. Yes. What is happening to the Chargers right now?
And I told you that when you made the pick. I said, how crazy is it that now all of a sudden taking Jacksonville is not stupid? And I said, I just wanted to see it. And you know what? I think Jacksonville is real. I think they are real. And I think like you don't really want to play them, especially I want to see how the season progresses because after a while teams figure you out. But right now I'm looking at a team and I'm like, listen, they'll come in and take you to town. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have the stats in front of me right now. I do know James Robinson had the 100-yard game, which is pretty wild. He was not even supposed to be the starter this year again. And he came but he has a 100-yard game, a touchdown. But Christian Kirk, right? I'm trying to find his stat right now. Christian Kirk is, for getting paid all that money and was talking a little bit of, trash, a little smack on that, him going over to Jacksonville and resetting the wide receiver market. He's not doing, he's having himself an all right.
They didn't even need him. They made him all that money and they don't even need him.
All right. So I know we're short on time today, but one of these days we're going to have to talk about the AFC West in general. Oh my God, Oakland at 0-3. You got the Chargers over here at 1-2, and then the Broncos have 1-2. They're 2-1. Same with the Chiefs, but I can't say they've been like the teams that we thought they were going to be. But still early in the season to see how that super division turns out.
I do want to say this. This is the first week, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say this, and we can move on. I want to be quick with this. The Chargers are not going to make the playoffs. I'm saying it now. The Chargers are not going to make the playoffs. And I'm now going to say that Justin Herbert is not in the same class as Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. I don't care. He's a talented guy, of course, you know what I mean? But he's going to be somebody who's more somewhere between, let's say, Phillip Rivers and Deshaun Watson, in terms of skill set and stuff like that. He's going to put up numbers. He's good. I mean, the talent's there, but something about the winning, he has not shown to do it. I'm starting him right now. I'm saying it boldly.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have to make that bold prediction. Put that down. Bold prediction. Tariq's going to eat his words at some point.
How I do it. Did you see the intensity?
All right. This might have been the most boring game of all time, but the 11-10 win for the Broncos over the 49ers.
But I'm going to say I told you that if a team gets to 17, that that's who's going to win this game.
But 17. You did pick Denver, so you got that victory. I did take Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that game. It was very very defensive oriented. So, but hey, Denver got it done, got the second win.
It was offensive and defensive.
Yeah. All right, last game we picked here, just to keep this moving along. We got the Green Bay Packers over the Bucks. Again, awful game to watch as far as just entertainment value. But Green Bay Packers pull it off, 14-12. Interestingly, though, Tom Brady was in a position, though, 2-point conversion missed that could have tied it. Like at the end, Packers still pulled it out. That was a game that I picked for the over/under as well. I picked the over. I said last week, I think these defenses are going to play well. I just didn't think that it was going to be that well. These offenses were going to, sputter so much. I think Tom Brady missed Mike Evans last week, so we'll see how that looks this week when he gets back off of his 1-game suspension.
Yeah, so I knew that the score was going to go down because and it's the real reason why I picked the Packers over the Bucks because whatchamacallit, what's the wide receiver's name? Can't even think of his name right now. But he wasn't playing. He got suspended and he didn't play.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. He got suspended and he didn't play. And I said, yeah, this it evened out the wide receiver problems that the Packers have. And I said, okay, well, in that situation, all right, I'm rolling with A Ron over there. But yeah, not much to
A-Rod.
say. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, so you smoked me again on those. You also beat me on the spread picks. You were right with the Cincinnati negative 4.5. You initially said, but we learned it was -6 actually at the time we picked it. Cincinnati still rolled there, so you won that one, and then Rams Cardinals over under took a little beat there, but cool. So I know we were talking earlier. MVP of the week 3 MVPs. I have 2 people in mind, but I have a third that I'm going to add just because we've been talking way too much about quarterbacks this year. But who do you got?
Who do I have for MVP of this week?
Week 3.
Week 3. I'm you know what? Can I do something that's really not fair, not sexy at all?
Sure.
I'm gonna say the Indianapolis Colts as a team. I mean, we beat the Chiefs, and nobody's gonna talk about this.
You Homer.
I mean, not only did we beat them, I mean, our best defensive player was not there. We're still figuring out this offense, and we beat the Chiefs. And I just want to throw that in there. I didn't want you to think that I didn't hear you from last week, sir.
You did. You also agreed with me last week, though. You also agreed with me that it was going to be a brutal one.
Well, I mean, it's hard to see when you tie the Houston and then get stomped by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and in 7 of 8 quarters, you were actually the worst team. That Kansas City's now coming, but we got them. Bang bang, go Colts.
You got that. I agree with you. And also, I think we talked about this. My 2 picks. I mean, you got Josh Allen, 400 freaking yards is just outrageous. But the other one who's just been absolutely having a year in a contract year, Lamar Jackson, with another 218 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, or in the air, 4 touchdowns. Add another 107 yards on the ground with another touchdown. What? Excuse me? He's equating for more offensive himself than teams in the league right now. So it's incredible. He is going to take his bag. He's going to walk in and say, give me all of your money, Baltimore Ravens. All of it. Not what I want, but all of it.
That's how it's done. For everybody wondering, how do you get a big contract? Lamar Jackson is writing you the manual to say, this is how it's done. Okay?
Yes.
I love it. All right.
All right, let's rock and roll. Cool. So on the week 4, we're on week 4, man. Now, we had a game the other night, Bengals Dolphins. Unfortunately, we saw Tua go down again in what was a gruesome injury. He was released from the hospital, so I haven't seen any updates specifically on his condition, but sounds like he sent out a note that said he's feeling better. I'm sure he's going to have some time to heal. I did just see today the doctor that cleared him, the neurotrauma consultant, has been fired, which is not shocking at all. But what are your thoughts on this? There's a lot going on there.
Did he not earn it? I mean, when you look at a person grasping for and hoping to be somewhere in reality, the person that said he is fine.
Yeah, I mean, back to the Bills game. If you watch that hit he took in week 3 on Sunday, there's like 2 to 3 occasions where this man he's walking and his legs buckle. Like, that's a telltale sign of a concussion. Like, there is a challenge. Like, he does not have motor control of his body, and they put him back in the game and then let him play on Thursday. So it's not a laughing matter. It's really serious, and hopefully, Tua's good. And like I said, good signs that he's out of the hospital, but we'll see what his recovery is like. Hopefully quick, and hopefully, the processes are tightened up so we don't see these types of gruesome injuries.
Yeah, man. That's
much more.
But a really good game. I think for the Bengals, I'm curious to see where they go from here. But I think this is, as I said, even when they were 0-2, I think this is a team that just has to figure some stuff out. And once they figure it out, they'll be back to what you think they should be.
Yeah, and I think the difference in this game too, and I don't have the stats here, but Joe Burrow had time. he was able to actually play football and make reads and make throws. He ended up going 20 of 31 for 287 yards and 2 touchdowns. But in the first like 3 games, he was literally running for his life on every drop back. I mean, ridiculous amounts of pressures. You just cannot operate under that. So this week he had more time, was able to set his feet and actually look at reads, and it paid off. Being able to knock off the Dolphins, who were undefeated at the time going into the game.
Okay, cool. All right, so Tim, so talk to me about this week. What we got this week? Who we looking at? What games we looking at?
Let's knock down some of these games. We'll just go. Where were we at? I was trying to just go in order here. Let's just start here. I had up the we wanted to go with the shit.
Well, one of the games. All right, this game I remember: the Bears and the Giants. Now,
there it is.
Initially, yeah, initially, and I'm gonna tell everybody the truth. When Tim told me that initially, I said, "Why do I want to talk about them?" And then I was like, "Neither one of them has a good quarterback." And then he was like, "Yeah, but they're 2-1." I said, "Oh, that is interesting, actually." So I mean, like both of these quarterbacks, neither one of them is good. And I think both of them are going to be looking for a quarterback this upcoming year. I just want to put that out there.
I think they have to be, right? And I agree with you. Both of these teams are not solid at all. And I'll tell you this: I actually don't think we talked about this yet. I was at the Giants Cowboys game on Monday night, so I was there, person, at MetLife, and got to watch the Cowboys, pull that one out against the Giants. I'll tell you, the Giants, they looked okay, but at no point, and like the crowd was into it. They looked like their offense was getting rolling. They were moving the ball, but they could not finish. And the Cowboys were doing the same thing and sputtering on their side. But then at some point, the Cowboys just took control, 2 straight touchdown drives, and the Giants were done. It was like, couldn't do a thing, couldn't get out of their own way. And part of that was, the Cowboys defense tightened up a bit, but Daniel Jones just wasn't effective. And to your point, I think the Giants will need a quarterback at some point. Like, they're going to have to move on from this guy who they drafted. He's got to be in his 4th year, right? He was drafted in 2019.
It's been too long. That's all I can say. It's been too long. Yeah. So, but this week in this game, who you got?
Yeah. Let's see here. Look, with all that said, I still think the Giants are a more solid team. Straight up, I'm going to go the Giants over the Bears. They are at home, so you have Chicago traveling. Always makes it a little bit more difficult. It's a 1:00 game. I think the Giants, they still have Saquon. They don't have. I can't even name one of their wide receivers right now. They have like Kenny Golladay. Like, they don't have great.
They don't like him, and he don't like them now. And they give him all that money too. I told you these wide receivers always seem to reset the market, and then it gets back to where it was because it's like, well, I'm trying to tell you something. Yeah. All right, so you got the Giants. I really do agree with you. I'm gonna roll with the Giants too. But I will say this: the Bears. The only reason I'm giving the Bears a real chance here is because their running game and their, and their ability to get rushing yards. And I think that travels. And like I said, the Giants aren't great, but I think that they're.
Montgomery went down, right? Is Montgomery still out, or did he just hurt last?
Well, then more on the Giants.
No. The reason why I say that is because the backup Herbert had himself a game last week. Like, he played pretty well. I know from fantasy wise, he was on a lot of people's benches last week. Yeah, so he went. Where's it at? He had 20 carries last week, 157 yards and 2 TDs. Okay. Now, it was against the Texans, but he still did it. You know what I mean? So, no, I agree with you. But we're on the same board there, so we got the Giants across the board.
Cool. All right. So next, who do we have? We had. Go. Okay. We had the Bills Ravens.
Yeah, perfect. Here it is. Here's our MVP matchup.
This is the MVP race right here. Like, this game. I'm very excited about this game.
I just want to read to you the season leaders for each team on passing and rushing yards are Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Josh Allen has 1,014 passing yards, 9 TDs, 2 interceptions. Lamar Jackson has 749 passing yards, 10 TDs, and 2 interceptions. Josh Allen has 113 yards on the ground for his team, a touchdown. Lamar Jackson has 243 yards on the ground as a quarterback. So I honestly don't even know. This is going to be a matchup, a powerhouse matchup. We're going to see these teams play ridiculous football for the rest of the year. It's going to be exciting to watch. And as we talked about, I think one of those guys are going to probably win the MVP. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson moving forward.
So, all right. So, who you got this game?
You go first. I picked last time. Pick first. I want to hear it.
So here's the thing. Had the Bills not lost last week, I would say the Ravens. But I don't see the Bills dropping 2 straight. Not 2 straight like that. I think this is a game, Josh Allen, this is the MVP solidifier for Josh Allen. And I think going on the road there, I'm saying he's going to throw for like 400 and like rush for like 80, and it's going to be like 3 or 4 touchdowns. I'm saying he's going to have to. So I'm going to say I'm going Buffalo in this game.
Yeah, I think as far as I was trying to find the roster here, but I think Buffalo has Stephon Diggs, right? I think between him and Stephon Diggs is having himself a year. I mean, Lamar Jackson's receiving leader right now is Mark Andrews, his tight end, right? And I know
one is.
What's that?
I don't even know who Baltimore's wide receiver 1 is.
Yeah, I know. Is it Duvernay? He's been having himself reasonably. I don't even think I said his name.
Or is he? Because Bateman was the one who's been there the longest. Is Dumerville?
But that's the point. Between the two of them, they're both having relatively good seasons, but we barely know who they are. Now, I actually wrote this down before you made your pick. I am going to go with the Ravens, and I'll tell you why. So one at home. And I think, as we talked about earlier, yes, this is, Josh Allen's going to try to say this is my MVP season. Lamar Jackson saying, come to my house and take it. Like, I am in a contract year, and I'm going to be paid $1 billion by the Baltimore Ravens. And this will be one of those games. If he puts the stamp on it, can win this game, pull it out. Even without as many weapons, I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think he pulls this one out, and it'll be either way, it's going to be a game to watch. And probably one of the most exciting games this week. Hopefully, they actually, we thought we were going to have some exciting games last week with some offense, and we didn't get it. I think this one's going to actually give us that offense, like high scoring, 28 to 35 plus points each team. It's going to be a good one.
Yep. Okay, cool. I'm very excited about that game. All right. So then we're moving on. So then we got the Chiefs-Bucks.
Chiefs-Bucks. Oh.
Now, here's the thing. One of these teams is going to drop two games for the first time this season.
Yep.
Because they both lost last week.
Yep.
So where we got? So where we at, Tim? What we got? What you got?
I'm going back to the well, and I don't know why, because I haven't seen the explosive offense out of this team that I've expected, but the defense has held up pretty well. But with Mike Evans coming back, I think Tom Brady at home, he's going to be like, look, young buck, Patrick Mahomes, it's not your torch yet. It's still mine. I'm still Tom Brady. I'm still going to find a way to win. As we talked about last week, he was a 2-point conversion away from tying Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers after that team looked like, dog shit the entire time. Like, the offense looked terrible, but they still were in a position to win. And that's where I think this is going to end up. And even though the Chiefs offense is ridiculously explosive, I think the Tampa Bay Bucks defense can hold them at least close enough that Tom Brady can do Tom Brady things and win. So I'm going with the Bucks in this game.
Okay, so I think you're right. I'm going to be devil's advocate here, and I'm actually going to roll with the Chiefs. I think Tom Brady, I think this is like a time where Tom Brady, he has to win. He's back to having to win a certain way. And I think there's something off about the Bucks. Not to say long term, but like just right now they're figuring something out. Like, the defense is good, but it could be better. the offense is good, but it could be better. And I think they're
Yeah.
still trying to figure something out, and I don't know what exactly that is. So for that reason, I just think I think the Chiefs can win in more ways right now. Like that defense is actually a little bit better than I thought it would be, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Pat is like I think if we're talking about regular season, I think Pat will end up being a better regular season quarterback regardless. And I think this is one of them
Yeah.
games. So
Yeah, I mean, I could look the spread on them is -1 in the Bucks' favor right now. It's basically a pick 'em, right? You get like 3 points in betting world just being home. So they're basically saying this is a toss up. Who knows where it's going to go? I agree. I think it'll be an interesting one. It should be another good game. Not that 2-2 hurts, but 3-1's just better in a record. So it's kind of big. It's a big deal for both of these teams at the moment.
right, okay, all right, cool. So finally, our last game, the Monday night game, the Rams at San Fran. Who you got, Tim?
I'm gonna. So I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I'm gonna keep rolling with my man Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Um, 2-1 Super Bowl champs, defending Super Bowl champs. I can't say they've like lit up the world right now. I was trying to find their schedule real quick, but I am going to go with the Rams. I think. Look, last week we saw Jimmy Garoppolo starting. For the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo has never been known for like this high powered offense that can score at will. And we saw this again last week. They scored 10 points, right? I just think that if Matthew Stafford could stop throwing interceptions, he's got, I just was looking at this, I think 5 interceptions already this year with only 4 touchdowns. But, but if he can keep the ball on his team, with his team and not give it up, then I think the Rams have more weapons. They have, I think their defense is good enough to keep the 49ers from scoring too many points, and they should be able to get it done.
Okay. So going off of exactly what you said, yeah, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is. I think they know the ceiling for Jimmy Garoppolo, but in
Yeah,
this situation, I don't think. So I'm not the biggest Matthew Stafford guy. I don't think he's bad, but I'm not the biggest Matthew Stafford guy, and I'm not sure in San Francisco that the Rams really have the quarterback advantage in San Francisco.
sure.
And I really do think this week, and I'm actually really a little bit more confident in it, but I'm gonna go with the 49ers.
49ers. All right.
49ers. I think at home, you comfortable. This
Think
is
they pull it out.
this
I
is
mean, look, big incentive for Matthew or for Jimmy Garoppolo, $100,000 for every win. Big incentives, baby. You got to pull that off.
I mean, this team was like they were the only question for this team was Trey Lance's ceiling higher than Jimmy Garoppolo's, but I was never a person that thought that Trey Lance was better than Jimmy Garoppolo today. He's
Yeah,
not. He wasn't. But Jimmy Garoppolo is good, man. He's good. He just has a ceiling, but he's
yeah,
good. So
yeah.
I think this is home cooking, and that's what it is.
I mean, not to go off too much, but Jimmy Garoppolo is like he's like Kirk Cousins, right? Like we've seen his ceiling, we've seen what he can do. He can play football. He's a serviceable quarterback. He probably should be a starter in the league somewhere. But is he going to take you to the Super Bowl? He's going to need a lot of weapons around him to do so. Um, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, 2 teams have gotten rid of him already, tried to at least, and he keeps getting his chance. But we'll see where it ends up. All right, so that's cool. We got Giants. We picked them, and then we split the rest of the games that we picked today. So
Okay, cool.
I'm
So
gonna need.
we need third picks, right?
Yeah, we can do that too. Let me just grab these here.
Or whatever. So while you're still looking, I'm gonna tell you my first spread pick. The I'm going back to the excuse me. I'm going back to that Buffalo Bills Baltimore Ravens game. And I'm looking at the point spread and I'm going over. So the over under is somewhere is about 51 points. And I'm going
51.
and I'm going over. Okay.
All right, over 51. I kind of like that. We just talked about, being almost 30 points per team in this game. 51 does seem a little bit low. I like it. We'll see. 51 over. Love it. I was trying to take a look real quick here on a game that I was kind of looking at earlier. Um, and let's see here. It's going to be a little bit interesting one, especially talking about where the hell is this? So I was going. Here's where I was going. Minnesota going into New Orleans. They're -3, so they're a road favorite at -3. I'm going to take Minnesota Vikings -3 over New Orleans, and here's why: the Saints haven't looked great, and Jameis is out. I mean, we have Andy Dalton going in. Andy Dalton again was a quarterback for the Bengals for many, many years, was a starter, but it's always interesting. I can't pick the Saints to rally. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they rally around Andy Dalton and try to figure this one out. But, in general, the Minnesota Vikings are still a solid football team. 3 points is it's a lot, but not a lot. Plus, it doesn't give me the hook. If it was 3.5, I might stay away from this. But at 3 points at -3, that means I might be able to tie on this one if they have to just kick a field goal to win it at the end of the game. But again, we're going to go Minnesota Vikings. See where this ends up.
Tim, that was the educated. You know what? I don't always say you give educated picks, but this one right there, I like that one, man. If it don't work out, I'm like, well, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. All right, cool. So with my second pick, all right. So if you go to the Jaguars at Philly,
I was looking at this one.
So Eagles are favored by 6.5.
A lot of points.
And I'm going Jacksonville on that one. Now, I'm not saying Jacksonville will go in and win, but I think once again with my picks, I look at it like this. If you like I said, 3 is 0 for me. So if you're in favor, if team favored by 3, that's basically where I'm like, all right, who do I think is going to win? In between 3 and 6, that's a touchdown to me. And so after 6, that's basically 10 points. And I'm saying, do I think the Eagles are going to beat them by 10 points? No, I do not. I see it to be a closer game than that. And that's why I'm going to go Jacksonville plus 6.5. Boom. Drops mic.
I like it. I like it. Plus 6.5. I was looking at one more here. I can't make this bet. I was just looking at the Cowboys Commanders game. I can't do it. I got to stay away from any betting on that because too much invested in those. But I got one last one here. Oh, here's what we're gonna do. This is a little out of characteristic. I was taking a look at this one a little bit earlier too, and it does have the hook on it. But I am also taking the favorite Detroit Lions at home at -3.5 over the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, Detroit, you come around. You've seen the light.
They're gonna win one of these.
You've seen the light. Tim, you have seen the light. Hold on, I just want you to know, in the summertime when we were filming, you were like, "What are you talking about with Detroit?" And you've now started to see the light.
Hey, to be fair, I don't know where they're going to end up this season, but they're playing reasonably. They're losing football. They're playing losing football, but they've been scoring points. This is what's the crazy part about it to me. They've scored 35, 36, and 24. Like I don't know that Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks can even keep up with that pace, right?
I mean, they definitely showed Russ what pace they could show in Week 1. No, I agree with you. Seattle, but Seattle has weapons, and you never know with them, man. Like just because they have those 2 wide receivers, like, geez Louise, like that's a very good 2 wide receiver set right there. It's scary. So you never know. But I tend to agree with you. I just wanted to say, I'm glad you've seen the light, on Detroit.
All right. Yeah, man. Well, we got a good one. Saturday today, so tomorrow going to be a fun time watching these games. Hopefully I can. We got a lot of opposite games here this week, so hopefully I can pull closer to this win-loss record because you are kicking my ass right now. I didn't even bother totaling them up or tallying them up because I don't want to admit what it is, but I'll do it again for us next week because it's not good right now for me. You are pulling away.
Oh, Tim, I I didn't want to say this on camera, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's too early in the season for me to admit defeat, but I'm gonna have to change something.
I'm not surprised, But I am humbled. I'm humbled to go back and forth with somebody who knows as much about football as you do.
Appreciate that, brother. All right, man. We might be getting close to time.
We got listen. We did this efficiently. We got
how about it?
We could fill something in. We could do whatever we need to do.
Say, I think at this point the park rangers are like, "What is this guy doing? Just sitting in his car screaming at his phone."
Why is he sitting in his car screaming? Who is this?
What is he doing over there? Oh.
Yeah, man. Tim, you all up and down the East Coast, just making stops everywhere.
Been everywhere. I got to figure out where I'll be next week. Maybe we'll actually get to do this again in person next week. We'll talk about that. We're around.
About that. Timmy's just going up and down the East Coast, making stops and kissing the girls, man. That's just what you do.
Yeah, about it. We're gonna have to meet you. All right, cool, brother.
All right, cool, man. Well, this was a great show, bro. This was a great show. Once again, always happy to do this with you, man, and how this worked out is amazing, and I am humbled by you sincerely. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your boy Tariq.
Tim, traveling Tim this week.
I like that. Traveling Tim. My man. Cool. We'll see you guys next week on Cuz You Don't Know Football.
You don't know football. Take it easy.
Later.